Hey everybody, welcome into the Beehive. I'm your host, TheBee at LLC, and this is where we stack precious metals like it's pollen and nectar. Our pollen is silver, our nectar is gold, preserving our wealth as honey of old. Like ancient metals, we hold our own. And today we have a special guest here, Berk, who is an expert at ancient metals and holding his own. I'm going to bring him up in here.
There I am.
Hey, Aaron, welcome in. Good to see you. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. All right. So today, well, let's start off by just seeing how things are going down at Harlan J. Berk. What's on your mind? What's on your desk?
Things are going well. Been really busy.
We lost him. I think we just lost him. Oh, here he is again.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I've just been really busy. Auction season. I was bidding in auctions the last 2 weeks. There was a really big sale in London under the auction house Noonan's, and so I was bidding in that. I spent over $1 million for clients.
Oh, wow.
In that auction. So that was pretty big. And then I just got the bill from NAC, and I spent another almost 26,000 Swiss francs for clients in that.
My goodness.
And so just a lot going on.
Been busy. So does any of those coins really stand out to you? Did you see something that you thought was pretty cool or interesting there?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the podcast last night that I did.
I did.
But I bought the Crete coin, the Kenosis, for 300,000 hammer, the one that I profiled in the podcast. It was the one with the Minotaur.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was an awesome one. That was really sweet.
I bought that coin.
So, wow, that is too cool.
For my client, so but I didn't want to say it on live that I bought it. So because I have a couple other clients that, I didn't want them to know I bought it. So I just telling you and your group. But
okay.
But and when I get the coin in, I might do like a quick video of it or something,
Yeah, wow, cool. I really thought the maze on the back of that was really, really impressive. Plus the front. I mean, the head was a little, not all there, but everything else was. That's the best example I've seen anyway.
It was really cool, and that thing has an amazing pedigree. That whole sale is got amazing pedigrees. The reason why I didn't profile that auction ahead of time is because I had several clients ask me not to.
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that. If that almost they don't want you out there bringing more attention to it before it takes.
Well, I mean, the sale had all kinds of attention from all the major players, so it wasn't like it went,
unnoticed.
But one of my clients, not the client who bought that one, but a client who spent $500,000 on other coins in the sale. He asked me not to, and so he's my second biggest client, and so he wouldn't let me represent him unless I didn't. So I figured after the fact I could now mention it, So I still mentioned it in a sense, and honestly, a lot of the coins were bought up by the ultra wealthy, and so most people couldn't afford them anyway. That's why I think it's kind of silly that people get freaked out about it if I mention it on the podcast. But I have to toe that line a little bit with certain clients, So they seem to think that it draws a lot of interest. I guess they're right in some sense. It does. But well,
your channel's really taken off here of late. I noticed too. You're, like you say, you're almost up to 100,000. So
yep, should get my plaque soon.
That's nice.
Whatever that means. So But it's so funny, you know, I wasn't lying. I think I've made it was $163. That's what I've gotten paid by YouTube. So
Yeah.
it really doesn't amount, but that wasn't why I did it. I did it for obviously for educating. And then I get a lot of residual business, obviously, from clients that want to do business with me because of the podcast. So,
oh, for sure. I bet. Yeah. I mean, everybody there is probably interested in ancient coins or antiquities.
yeah. Or they've asked me for advice, or I've gotten collections consigned to me, you know, so they're, you know, the way I look at life is when you give, you get. And so that's just me giving to the industry. And so if I'm giving, then I'm going to hopefully get.
Yeah. I would think so.
That's why I don't take advertisers other than somebody wants to send me wine, which has no numismatic affiliation.
Bellinger?
Yeah, Bellinger, yeah. And beyond that, you know, I don't really want advertisers because I don't want to be a pay for play.
Yeah.
So because as soon as I start taking money from auction houses or from big companies, then you're kind of like, you can't say anything negative about them.
Right.
I don't want to be in that situation. So it's easier for me just to, you know, not mention it. And that way I can be a little edgy at times. I can talk about, you know, with hopefully not getting sued. But you know, like I brought up the Nomos thing yesterday and I'm waiting for a residual from that. But I think I handled it well. I don't think I bashed them. I was more or less talking about the auction fees as a whole.
Yeah. Well,
and
man,
so
30%. That's
28%.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's well.
And you know, I talked to the owner and I understood his position. He was kind of putting up, there was another company involved with getting that collection and they had kind of pre-did the negotiation with the family. And so by the time it came to Nomos, the problem is there's too many cooks in the kitchen and they all have their hands out. And then they want the clients to pay, the customers to pay for it. And I think that's wrong. It's like when we talk about tariffs, it's true that, you know, like China doesn't really pay for the tariffs. If you know anything about tariffs, it's about importing. So when you import goods in, you have to pay your duties. And so that's passed on to the consumer or the company that's importing it. So you can say, well, China paid billions of dollars, but not really. It was paid by the consumers and by the companies. And it's the same thing with the coins. It's not that, you know, now I think that the company should have probably, you know, look, I know Stacks, for instance, we did a deal with them about 4 years ago where we brought them a collection that was worth, in US coins, it was worth about $20 million. And they gave us 2% of the buyer's premium for bringing them the collection. And then we got our client 105%, 110%. So they were working on 8%. Because they charged 20 and they gave away 12%. So they were working on 8%, but 8% of 20 million is pretty good.
Yeah, right.
So and so instead of raising the fees to say like, well, we still want to get 10% and making it 22%, they kept their rate at 20 and just lowered what they're actually going to get, and they're working on volume. And so that's the right way to handle it. Just raising the fees to make other people pay for it is not the way to handle it, in my opinion. So
yeah.
And it's a slippery slope. It really is. And you know, they can say, well, it's just for one auction, but I think that, and, you know, the other thing is that I kind of like at the end said, you know, it's an opportunity for somebody to bid in the sale, because I know the biggest buyer in the world. He told me he was not going to bid in the sale, not through me, but just himself. And he's the one who bought the silver Eidmar out of NAC for $1 million. You know, like he's the top guy in the world right now buying. And he said he was boycotting the sale.
Yeah, he's taking
so it might be an opportunity for somebody to pick up a really good deal on some coins if no one's bidding, even though it's 28%. You know, so it could be an opportunity as well. But you know, like people have to explain to these consigners that yes, an auction house can promise you the world, but are you ultimately going to realize the amount of money that you think you're going to get? And so you might get more of the take, but if you're charging so much that it turns clients off, then you're not going to get as much. Or if clients decide they're not going to bid as high in the auction, you know, you're kind of screwing yourself a bit.
Yeah, shooting yourself in the sure. Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just have to, if the coins are that good, which in this collection, they're very, very good. If the coins are that good, you don't really have to worry about whether or not people are going to pay a high price. And so there's no reason to take so much of the buyer's premium away from the auction house. You know,
Are you is this the Nomos sale for the auction 34 be on the 13th? Is that which house, where's this auction coming from? Through who?
Switzerland.
Switzerland?
I don't know where they are, but I think they're in Switzerland. The auction house is in Switzerland, in Zurich, but I don't know where the collection is.
What's the name of the auction house?
Nomos.
It is Nomos. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that mostly one person then, or
that was one person's collection? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a small sale. It's only like 130 some coins.
Okay. Yeah, I got it here. So this is where, let's see, let me share my screen here. So this is the 28% sale that you're just talking about here.
Yep.
Okay. And you think there's some nice coins? I did see the meta.
Oh, they're spectacular. The coins are spectacular. But you know, the point is that there's always going to be another sale with spectacular coins. So, you know, if somebody decides to not bid in the sale because they don't want to support the high premium, it's not like they're not going to have other nice coins to buy down the road, you know. So
Yeah. Well, I hear you say that. It's me being new into it. It's hard to swallow that sometimes, but I'm sure you know.
Well, and then you know, for an American, you're talking about the Swiss franc to the dollar. You're probably losing at least, you know, close to 5%.
Yeah.
So you got to consider that on top of it. I don't think the estimates are that. He claimed the owner claimed that the estimates were low. I don't think they're low. I think the estimates are high.
Okay. Yeah, there is some interesting pieces there. Oh yeah, and they got another Pan-Tika-Pan here.
Yeah, which 100,000 is kind of ridiculous. I mean, those things now are bringing between 50 and 75,000. So I think 100 estimate is way too much. And go down to see what the pedigree is. Scroll down. Well, it's got a good pedigree. Loy 81. They're a really good auction house at the time. Bibliotech from 1960. It's got a nice long pedigree. But there's so many of these in the market right now. It's a nice coin. I just don't know if, you know,
100 might be little up there for an estimate.
I think so, but somebody might pay for the pedigree. But then you're adding 28% on top, so you know,
yeah,
a lot of money.
No doubt. This one didn't really. I don't know why this one kind of caught my eye as not. I don't know. It looks
but
not.
It's a hectare, so it's really tiny.
Okay.
If you go to click the video button, you'll see how small it is.
Oh yeah,
it's tiny. Beautiful coin, no doubt.
It does. It looked almost a little fresh to me, but I guess it's just in that good a condition.
Oh yeah. All the coins are spectacular. But yeah, I mean that coin weighs like 1.6 grams or something like that. It's a tiny coin.
And what did they have for 3,000? Yeah. A little over my pay grade. It's a nice brace there.
Yep. Nice Lysimachus.
So okay, so back here for a minute. So I got it. Somebody sent me an ancient coin here, and I wanted to get your opinion on it. Maybe. Oh, why no? What do you know what this is off the top of your head? It's got a little.
Yeah, that's a Jewish war bronze, Pruta.
That's what I thought it was a Jewish.
Yeah, probably. It's from the or it's from the first Jewish wars.
Okay.
There's 5 years of the Jewish war, and that's a Jewish bronze. I just talked to somebody in Israel who's going to offer me 100 of those.
Oh wow, cool. So now, when I first received this, a month or two ago, I kind of wonder if they did something to the coin. I don't remember seeing as much of the green on here. It was more, I didn't see any of that green patina or what that is. And I'm wondering if they put something on the coin, like an oil or something to kind of.
Possible, but I think the green looks pretty natural to me.
Okay, and so that's not something that I need to because I want to pop this out of the
Yeah, for sure, pop it out. No, it's fine, and that's probably worth probably 125.
Oh wow, nice coin then. Nice bronze.
Yep. Yeah, any of the Jewish war stuff is popular.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
They can go up to 250, $300, depending how nice they are. Usually you're going to get year 2 or year 3, which are the common years for the war. Year 1, 4, and 5 are extremely rare.
So this is this a year 1, did you say?
No, it's probably a 2 or 3.
Oh, 2 or 3. Okay.
Yeah.
It's got it almost looks like a maple leaf on there.
Yeah, it's an ivy leaf, and then if you go to the obverse, you have the Jewish chalice.
Yeah, I like that chalice. This is actually pretty. So what would you say this coin for condition wise? I'm no.
It's a nice BF. It's about how they come, generally speaking.
Okay.
I would say it's an average quality for the type, but it's a decent coin.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. And so I seen some people, and I've heard about this cleaning with olive oil, but that's kind of a no-no nowadays, right?
Correct.
And so you would just, if you were to, like, this one is fine as is.
You're not going to improve it any.
Right. Okay. And you just usually use the distilled water to soak them in. Is that kind of the standard with?
Yeah, I mean, bronze coins I probably wouldn't mess with too much. Sometimes you can clean them mechanically. You just have to be careful. But at times you can soak them in distilled. You just have to be careful not to get, that can cause bronze disease. So you have to be really careful with that. Adding moisture to bronze is not necessarily a good thing. But if you, sometimes you can put them in a tumbler with fine grain, corn grain, and it will actually clean the surfaces without hurting the surfaces badly.
Okay. And what was that called again?
A tumbler.
Oh, a tumbler. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. So Silver Boy Blues is asking, so if we want to sell ancient coins at some point in the future, do you auction them off for us, Aaron? Or are you able to evaluate them for us regarding condition value and help us know where and how to sell them?
All the above.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I do that constantly. I have somebody who just sent me 4 ancient coins that they wanted to sell off, and they unfortunately they want more than what I think the coins are worth, and so I'll probably end up sending the coins back to them, and I'll let them know what I think the coins are actually worth, because like he's got a Syracuse tetragram in here. It's hard to see, but it's not very high grade, and he wants $2,000 for it. And I think the most that this coin is worth is maybe $1,250. So it just doesn't make sense for me to try to sell this for him.
I see.
So I have some people who will bring me, I talked to a lady the other day. She has over 2,000 ancient coins. She's going to be shipping to me. And a lot of them are low quality, but she's got some decent ones too. And so what I said to her in that situation, probably be better for us to buy out the low end material from her and then consign the high end material so she can max out on the high end material and just get rid of the low end stuff. Because it doesn't make sense for me to consign 2,000 low grade coins.
Sure. Okay.
Grades do matter, William. They do. I've got a junk bowl out there with thousands of coins that we're selling for $12 a piece. So,
Sure.
But But anyway,
Um,
it's cool. I just got this in.
what? Bring you back. I meant to pull you up here. Oh, little medallion type of thing for a.
It's a Jewish menorah with Jewish relics at the bottom, and this is in silver. It's an amulet,
Oh, really? Okay.
and this dates 4th to 6th century AD.
Right.
And it's a very fancy menorah, and this came out of Israel. And I just sold it to a client. Got it in 2 days ago, and I had a place for it, so I already sold it.
Nice. Now that
they're very rare, extremely rare. I was talking to David Hendon, who wrote the book on Judaica, and he thought I could have gotten $20,000 for this. I thought that was crazy, but I sold it for about just over half of that. So
wow, that's actually quite a bit higher than I would imagine. But
menorahs are extremely rare because a lot of them were destroyed.
Okay, well that wouldn't have been at least say 400 or 500. That would have been long taken from the temple.
Yeah, and this probably David thinks this was probably issued by people in the temple for a celebration.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a pretty important piece. So, and I sold one to the same client last year, and so I felt like this was a good place for that to go to. So
cool. Yeah. Now, in our last talk, you talked about on the Colosseum coin.
Mm-hmm.
On the really nice ones, they seem kind of up at the top a Judea Capta, and I was wondering, did you mean that there was a Judea Capta kind of in the Colosseum, or was it like on the top of the? What exactly did you mean?
So in each one of the squares at the top of the inside the Colosseum, there was actually a Roman marble statue
within the Colosseum.
Yeah, okay. In the windows, kind of in the pediments.
Cool.
And so in the top center pediment, there was a statue of a Judea Capta, which if you put it dead center, at the top, it's like saying like, hey, this is our triumph over the Jews. Look what we created.
Yeah, I see. That's cool. Yeah, for that tiny of art, they obviously put that in there for that you wouldn't be able to. I mean, that's kind of obvious.
Right, and it's well known that when Titus sacked the Jewish temple after the Jewish rebellion, that he brought back all the gold and silver, and they actually put it out on display in the forum, so everybody could see for a little while before they took it and melted it down. Yeah,
I bet that was quite a pile. That would have been years and years. Was it probably just left in like when people? Maybe you don't know this. I would have no idea, but I wonder if that was the continual putting of the treasure into the temple. It just always stayed. Did they ever take that out and use it for things, or was that just?
It probably did, but basically, every Jewish male had to give a half a shekel every year.
Yeah,
it was a temple tax.
Right.
And then the wealthy would give gold. And in fact, they had a vine that went across, a golden vine that went across the temple door. And during the celebrations, they would actually make grapes out of gold, the wealthy, and they would hang the golden grapes on the vine, on the temple.
Wow, interesting.
And it's actually, that vine is actually represented on a tetradrachm of Bar Kokhba during the revolt when they did the Jewish temple.
Yeah, I've seen you talk about that coin.
They have what they call the wavy line, and the wavy line is supposed to represent the golden vine.
Huh.
So, cool. Centuries of putting gold and silver into the temple. And one of the reasons why the Jews rebelled against the Romans is because the Romans expected everybody they conquered to pay a tax to the Romans, and the Jews didn't want to. They wanted to pay their tax like they had always had to the temple. And so they rebelled because they didn't want to pay the Romans.
Sure.
And that's what happened. So then, of course, when Titus went and squashed the rebellion, he said, well, screw you. I'm now taking all your money anyway.
Yeah, wow.
So
Okay. And then on the last coin I got from you, it has at the top, and I'm guessing this is the pedigree. It says up here Lorber 17.
Kathy Lorber. So Kathy Lorber is a very famous Greek writer, Greek numismatist. She lives in California. She was with NFA back in the day, and she's probably one of the best living scholars on Greek coins. And she wrote a book on or a paper on Larissa, so that's her Larissa reference number. And then also, she just got done with the coins of Ptolemy. So there's a 2-set volume that just was put out a few years ago. She wrote that book as well. She wrote a book on Amphipolis as well. So she's very, very, I know Kathy, very nice lady, and extremely great numismatist.
Cool. So now that if I was to look up Lorber, is that like a book then, or
Yeah, I believe it was I think it was an article in one of the museum notes catalogs.
Okay.
So yeah, you could look that up and it would have that die. That's her reference to her die.
Okay.
And sometimes you get plate coins from, specific works that she did. And it would say this coin in parentheses if it was that actual coin.
Okay, now this is probably a little embarrassing, but what a plate coin? What's a plate coin?
It means that it's photographed in the book.
Ah, gotcha.
That it's in the plates. The
Okay.
plates are the photographs.
Okay. So then I'm gonna pull up your website. I had the same question about a coin that I'm interested in there. Which I believe it was yes, the Tarentum here. So there's also up here at the top, it says, let me see if I'm showing this or not. Yeah, okay. So this here where it says SNG, ANS 1254 and Vlasto 950. This is pedigree info here, or
Not pedigree, they're references to use to catalog the coin. So in SNG, it's a syllogy done by the American Numismatic Society. And that's a reference to the exact same type of dies that were used on this coin. So it has the same symbol combination. And Vlasto was the standard reference on Tarentum. And it's, it's a very expensive book. I think it was printed, I want to say it was printed in the 40s or 50s, maybe even 30s. And so you can go through, and that's the Vlasto number as well. If it was pedigree, it would say, like it says there, X HJB 153rd buyer bid sale, lot 72. Or if we said Vlasto, if it was the plate coin, it would say Vlasto 950, and then in parentheses after 950, it would say this coin.
okay.
So those are just references we use to catalog the coin.
Okay. Okay, and then so if I was to look up, so this X HJB, obviously this is one of your sales and early.
Yeah, so we offered that coin and sold it in 2007.
So I could look up that, I could type in HJB 153rd buyer bid sale and still pull that up.
Yep.
Okay. And would I do that just on the regular search engine, or do I have to go somewhere special?
So I have some of my buyer bid sales online. If you go to the top of the webpage, and then under publications,
okay.
Put all HJB catalogs at the bottom.
Okay.
And then expand the buyer bid sale archive.
Cool.
And there's all the catalogs.
Okay, sweet.
There's a little bit of a gap in some places. And if it's not here, there's a website in St. Louis called the Newman Portal. And here, let's do that because that's actually better. Go to a web page.
Okay. Newman portal or?
Yeah, type in Newman portal numismatic.
Yep, there it is.
If you want to show your screen, I
Okay,
can.
yep, I'll grab it here. Right, 1 second.
It's actually what the Newman portal is doing. They're scanning every reference book and catalog ever produced on coins.
Whoa.
So it also includes US coins, includes everything. So at the very top, in the enter search text, just in that big black area above that, yep, type in there where it says enter search text, has those words to the left. Just click right there.
Okay.
And type in Berk, B-E-R-K, and hit enter. Okay. And then scroll up to the top. Okay. And then click auction catalogs 2 on the left there. Yep. Auction catalog, auction companies. Okay. Click that. And then click the auction company right there.
It's not. Maybe.
Click Harlan Berk.
Harlan Berk. Okay. 196 entries found.
If you click, did you click the Harlan Berk?
I did, and it took me. Oh, I bet you don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Oh, okay. Let me. Yeah, I just gotta. I don't know why it does that, but. There we go.
There you go. So there's every one of our catalogs from 1977 to 2016.
Wow, awesome.
So if you click on any of those, you can get a.
Let's see your first one at 1970. That was before I was born.
So hit the unrestricted. Yep.
Unrestricted.
You can just click it. That's fine. And then you can just scroll through it.
Okay. Wow. Look at that. And so, did you not have picture? Are you not seeing that? I'm sorry, I can't see.
I see it. I see it.
Okay. So
scroll to the end. It's text and then plates.
Oh, you do have plates here too. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there they are. Wow. Look at that.
And actually, we have some catalogs before that, but they didn't have them. But that pretty much will cover most of what's on there. So I like to come here because it's just easier for me to just flip through here than to go through my own website sometimes.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's awesome information for me. And so this site has other people's as well.
It has everybody.
Everybody.
And it's a free site.
Oh, cool. All right. Awesome.
Newman was a numismatist, a collector, and he funded this whole thing through the St. Louis, Washington University in St. Louis.
Okay.
So there's basically scanning every book in numismatic in existence. That's their goal.
Wow. So they're like reaching out to the auction houses and getting their.
Yeah, they came and picked up all our catalogs and scanned them all.
Wow, that's too cool.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's some good information for me. Okay, now that coin that we were just looking at was well, yeah, no, the
Trentum.
The Trentum.
Yeah.
And it is a nomos as well, and I noticed its weight was I believe it was 6.3 or something, and then I noticed some of them are like I noticed about a 0.6% variant in weights. Is that kind of like where do you look for variant in weight before you say that's too far off for this to be a nomos?
If it's off by 2 grams, or more.
2 grams.
Yeah, if it's in with a gram, if it's about within a gram range, it's fine because you got to always consider some wear and things like that at times. But in general, they were pretty accurate. So they're not exact, but it's going to be you can get some heavy specimens or some light specimens, but it's not going to be like 2 grams light.
Okay. I'm going to see. I got William wondering. So that's called Newman Numismatic Portal. NEW.
If you type in Newman Portal Numismatic, it'll come up.
Yep.
In Google.
Okay, cool. Okay, and then so we've been talking a bit about some ancient dies that were found. You have one in your own person. You held another one at the show, a nice Athens tetradrachm die, and I was wondering where do those come up? How do you find those? Are those found in different areas than coins generally? Like, well, how are you coming across those generally? You know?
How am I coming across ancient coins?
No, ancient dies. Like, are they found in
the dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're rare. They don't come up too often. Yeah, they're generally probably found, not necessarily on sites, and they're probably found with a coin hoard.
Okay, that's what I was kind of wondering, maybe. Okay.
And most of the time, they're contemporary copies, meaning that they were forgers' dies back in ancient times.
And so when you're speaking of a coin that was made by a forgery die, you call it a foray.
Correct.
And so a forgery die and a foray. So
a foray is really it's a coin that has a copper center and a silver wash. So that was the forgers trying to fake a full silver coin. That's a foray. Okay. You can have Celtic, what they call Celtic copies. So they're full silver coins made to look like the official ones, but they're still ancient and they're still full silver. They're just not official.
And they're not called forays. Those would be called something.
Imitation.
Okay. Yep. That's where I was going.
The foray is always going to have a copper core.
Okay. That's where I was getting confused. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm going to go back to this Terrace coin, I was wondering if you were to if you were going to sell this coin, do you have a story to go along with that coin?
The Tarentum?
The Tarentum, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Tarentum was the figure who's riding the dolphin is Tarsus, who is the founder of Tarentum in the myth. And supposedly Tarsus was drowning and was saved by a dolphin. Okay. And so they use that as their symbol for the coins of Tarentum. And they also raised horses in Tarentum, in that part of Italy. And so that's why they use horses on the reverse of the coin.
Yes. Okay.
So cities usually would have some symbolism for their founding and or what they export or what they do in that region. So in this case, they're using Tarsus and they're using the horse.
Okay.
Like if Georgia was minting coins, they would mint something with a peach, because a lot of peaches come from Georgia. That's what they're known for. If it was Idaho, it'd be potatoes. So, so if you're an ancient city in Idaho, you would have minted a coin with a potato on it. So,
right.
Same idea.
Gotcha. So it kind of makes me wonder if there was some kind of reality to the original myth, like some maybe the founder got lost at sea and they kind of tie those stories together, do you think? Or is this just kind of hype to back the city?
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that you can, myths were ways of explaining the unexpected. I mean, do you really think that the founders of Rome were raised by wolves?
Right. Well,
wolf? I don't know. Maybe. I doubt it.
Right. But maybe, was there I mean, it kind of makes you think that there might be something to those, like with the, you know, those two brothers. Maybe there was an unfaithful relationship, and then somebody came back to the area, like you, or you think this is mostly just, and I know you don't know, but
Hold on 1 second. Hello? Yeah, did I miss my appointment? Can I do it at can I come at 2:30? Is there already an open for that? Okay. You know what? Just cancel for today, and you can charge me. It's fine. Are you sure? Yeah. Because I have to. Tomorrow's fine. If you want to do tomorrow. We've got a 3 tomorrow. All right, let's do that. Thanks. Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. I missed my appointment.
yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, I just spaced.
For sure.
Out. So too many things on my plate.
Right. I can only imagine.
It's, you know, I do some PT for my neck because my neck's been bothering me, and it's across the street, so it's not a big deal.
Okay.
So.
Okay, cool. So yeah, just looking at this Tarentum, I'm pretty interested in picking this up. This word here above it, do you know the phylogly? How do you know what that says?
It's probably the name of the city, or no, the Tepaz is the name of the city. It may be the magistrate or part of the mint processing. I don't know off the top of my head. I have to look and see, but it's possible that it has to do with just the mint worker who's producing at the time. I'd have to translate it and see, or go into the work. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay.
It could just be the name of the city as well.
Okay. Okay. And you're calling those these two tips of the trident in the background.
Yep.
You're calling those Righton, but the whole thing here would be considered a trident. Is that right?
That's a trident there, yeah.
And then the tips are called Righton. Or is that's what's written here anyway? Holding Righton. Let's see, Dolphin Rider holding Righton. Or maybe the Righton is considered the.
Oh, the right time. No, he's got in his hand, he has a drinking cup called.
Oh, okay, that's what it's talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
that's a drinking cup for drinking wine, and they're usually made out of animal heads, but this one's plain. And then the two pieces, the two things behind it look like there might be amphoras. Or cantharoses. Or they could be additional tridents.
Oh, I thought that's what that was for sure, just the tips, but you're saying possibly something else there.
They could be vases. Yeah, they could be. So those look like cantharoses. They're vases, other drinking cups.
Okay. Interesting. I thought that drinking cup was where you get the abundance of everything coming out of it, or whatever you call it. Like on modern stuff, they have that same cornucopia. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no, that's a Righton. So cornucopias usually are under the arm. They're not usually holding them in their hands per se. So, and you know, why not drink some wine while you're riding a dolphin?
No doubt. Well, so that, yeah, and then you're just getting a lot of imagery there. You're representing several different.
Right.
So yeah, I thought this was a cool coin here. Might have to be picking this up. The dolphin was really well done there on the back as well, and on the front.
Or you just wait and see if you can get it at a cheap bid price and see what happens.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, Aaron. It's hard to watch that get taken out from under you.
I know. But you know, Tarentums are pretty common. There's a lot of them in the market right now, so you can really be picky, and you can also wait for the best price. So they're pretty plentiful in the market right now. So there's no reason to jump at every single one that comes to you. So, you know, you can be patient. It's okay. I think it'll be fine. If it hasn't sold now, it may not sell right away. So there's a good chance it goes for a bid price.
Goes for the discount. All right.
Yeah. And if you don't get it, there's always other coins. It's not like Tarentum is rare. So it's a nice coin for what it is, for sure. But it's not like you can't find others. So
right. So well, I found
I'm not trying to talk you out of buying one of my coins, but you know, I at least want to be honest.
Yeah, and then helping me out. I know I appreciate that for sure, because I can use the rain in me, pulling me back a little bit.
That's why people like me, is because I never try to push coins on them. I'm always trying to, you know, like, well, buy it if you really like it. You know, this is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. But I'm not going to lie to you. You know, if it's not worth what it is, or it doesn't make sense, then, you know, I'm going to tell you. I have clients that say, hey, that are I'm friendly with, and they'll say, hey, should I buy this coin? I'm like, no, it's a piece of shit. Don't buy that.
So here's basically the same coin. It's got a bit of different imagery on it. I don't see the dolphin underneath the horse, but everything else.
Well, all those symbols are going to be different. So you're going to have different symbols, different things going on. And that's all going to be cataloged differently based on what the references are picked up. Occasionally, you'll get a die combination of symbols that it hasn't been discovered or hasn't been published. That's common. That does happen. But in general, you're going to see a little bit of variations here and there.
Yeah, well, this one I would say is very close, aside from the dolphin underneath the horse.
Yeah, except the metal quality isn't very nice.
Oh yeah, not even well. That's what makes me nervous about not picking that on up so fast.
Right.
Yeah, there's other.
It's really hard to know unless you got it in hand. That's why I do videos of everything, because the photograph of this might be a lot brighter than the actual coin is.
In fact, well, I was going to say.
Yeah, see how the right time you can see the animal head?
Oh, I do now. That's like that goat head almost that's coming out of the the back of the lion or whatever, kind of, huh?
Yep. Yeah, so those, if you look up, I've had Rhytons. They're very rare Greek ceramic shape, and they're very expensive. You know, like,
get out of here.
Right.
You can get the so that was a real container at one time.
Oh yeah. I've probably handled probably 7 or 8 Rhytons in my career.
Oh wow.
The last one I had was it was a fawn. And they usually have Greek painting as well. If you Google search attic ceramic Rhyton, you'll see all kinds of animals. There's dog heads, there's deer, there is bull heads, all kinds of stuff.
What's the material that it's made out of generally? Ceramic. Okay.
Inspired clay. And then they would paint them with figures on the base part.
Wow, that is.
And they Rhytons on average, I would say, are at least, you know, $15,000 to $25,000 and up. They're expensive. Oof. Yeah, they're rare and they're expensive. So the last one I had, I think I sold for about 18,000.
Wow. Okay. I noticed, so in the little site, what do you call them? Electronic sales, or what do you?
E-sale?
E-sale. Okay. Yeah, this one, the Neville, whatever that is.
Neville, yeah.
Neville, it had a few decent.
Yeah. So Neville is they get all the coins from NAC.
Okay.
So these are all coins from NAC.
NACs that didn't quite make the main cut type of thing.
Correct.
So this one, if
they're kind of like, they have a guy who runs this, and this is all the stuff that doesn't make the NAC sales.
Okay, so yeah, when we looked at this one, so this might be something. If I was ever to get a hold of a coin like this, this might be the place to do it, because
Neville has they'll have some decent coins, and they'll have some nice pedigreed coins occasionally as well. It's not a bad place to look, for sure.
Cool. So what do you think? I know this is not very nice, pretty rough, but what do you think an estimate on something like that would go?
I wouldn't pay more than 250 pounds.
Okay.
Probably even a little less, because you got to pay the the buyer's premium, plus the pound of you got to figure the pound of the dollar too. So that Masana, it's about a $4,500 coin. So you got to figure you got to be into it for less than around 3,000, no more, and probably 2,500 pounds, because you're going to end up paying close to $4,000 by the time it's all said and done.
Okay. Yeah, this isn't too bad, really, is it? Like,
No,
it's not too bad. I mean, I guess maybe it doesn't quite make the cut, but
no, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Man. Yeah, this was one of the better e-sales that I'd came across in a bit. I thought this one was pretty cheap. I don't know
The base is off, so it's not so nice as far as that goes. The one next, the one after that is much nicer.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little corroded, but it's nice style. And and it's actually attributed to the artist.
Euclides.
Euclides.
Okay. Have you heard? Do you know? Is he fairly famous?
Yeah. You get it. I mean, any coins that are signed by the Greek artists are good coins to have.
Okay. And so pedigree.
And that's pedigree back to 76.
76.
CB.
Okay.
So so that's almost 40 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not quite pre-70, but close.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. I was gonna ask, you've mentioned a couple times about Caesar, and in our last one, you talked about when he passed on, he left a lot of wealth to the people.
Yeah.
You mind telling me a little bit about that? Is that
yeah, he in his will he left like a certain amount of sesterce to each Roman citizen in his will.
Wow, to each citizen, that would be quite a few people, but he's quite wealthy.
Right, and that's why Brutus was not well loved after that, and why he was kind of run out of Rome, and also because Augustus was his adopted son, so he wasn't too well liked for assassinating Julius Caesar after that.
Okay.
So he was kind of run out of Rome, and that obviously curbed, public opinion of him at the time.
Sure. Okay. Well, I think that's kind of what I had for you here. Oh, I did want to look at this coin too. I thought this was
yeah, that's a Mende tetragram. That's a nice coin.
Right, that's what I thought over here on the e-sale. So this might be another one to keep an eye on.
Just scroll down. Does it have a pedigree? The Mentor collection. Yeah. Okay.
What does that mean?
Oh, it's just the name of the collector who owns it. He was a dealer. I forget his name now, but NAC has been selling off his whole collection.
Okay.
So
I might keep an eye on this. What would you think would be a good steal, a good buy on this one for price wise? Maybe do we have no video here, so
I'd be careful with that one.
Okay, just talk to me about it a little bit if you don't.
Well, I've talked to a bunch of people who said some of the Mentor coins were fake.
Okay.
And so I would just be a little careful with that one. It probably is okay. I mean, these generally bring like $12,000 to $15,000 and up. So I'm a little surprised they have it so cheap.
That's exactly what I was wondering.
It makes me think that there's a problem with the coin, and so I probably would just pass.
Shy away from it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's kind of what I was wondering. So good deal. Okay. Well, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up for this one.
Sounds good.
And greatly appreciate you again. And we'll
Always.
get you back for another one here coming up.
Always. It's nice talking to you guys.
Awesome. All right, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for joining us today, and we will hopefully be back in about a month, and we'll go over some more of these ancient coins. So if you come up with any questions or quandaries, please get in touch with me, send me an email, or just come back for the next one and drop it in the chat, and we'll see if we can cover it for you.
Okay, take care, guys.
All right, thanks. See you on the next one.